Awesome. We are in a back-to-back session today. So it's me, then John. It's confusing. It's John, then John, according to the agenda, which I have in front of me. Cool. Perfect. What are you going to be sharing today, John?
So I'm going to share 4 strategies on how to improve your organic rank over Q4. And I think the elements that I'm going to be covering is a lot to do with the technology side of how to help yourself get into a better organic rank. So there's clearly a lot of strategies to do there, but we have some different ways of looking at how to position your product for better ranking with the algorithm. And I'm going to cover 4 strategies on that to help you crush Q4.
Love it. So stay for that one. And quickly first, we're going to have a little presentation about how to fix things. So it's been a long time coming, and Seller Candy's finally put together our top 3 fixes presentation, which people have been requesting for a long time. So what I'm going to take you through today in the next few minutes is fast Amazon fixes, Seller Candy's guide to suspensions, reviews, and flat files. So take notes, take screenshots, and we've got a couple of downloads as well as part of it, some SOPs actually, which I managed to extract from our system. So if you want our real SOPs that we use to actually fix things, keep your phone ready to scan those things. Awesome, let's get into it. So what we'll be going over today, how to fix 3 of the most critical Seller Central problems that we commonly work through here at Seller Candy. And do stay to the end because they're going to give you some resources. And of course, we have John coming straight after. Quickly, there's an about me slide as always. I'm founder of CEO at Seller Candy. We've served over 500 clients. Before that, I was a seller and a consultant. And it's been 9 years now, coming up to my Amazon decade. It's crazy. Is that paper anniversary? I have to ask my wife. And I get to speak at conferences all over the world because of this. Here's some cool stuff that I've got to do. All right, so let's get started. What we're going to show you is how to solve Seller Central issues effectively, which is quicker, faster, and more efficiently without setting up the intricacies of doing the stuff yourself. So, you have a performance notification, and it's a suspended listing. And we all know who is behind suspended listings, don't we, attendees and John? It's Dr. Bezos. He is behind every single one of these listings. And this is exactly how agents go about solving a listing suspension. So I'm going to take you through our process that we use to solve it. All right, so we get the suspended listing. Immediately, we raise a case in Seller Central and ask support what they believe it is. There's 2 reasons for doing this, and I'm going to share them later on. But you have to do this step first because you need this case ID. You need this case ID number, so you've got it noted down so that you're going to use it later on in this process. After that, you raise another case enabling your category listing report in the back of Amazon. So you go here, contact us, products and inventory, and then ask them to enable your category listing report. What this is basically a flat file or a feed file that has all of your listings on it, which will allow you to edit your listings even if Amazon has locked everything down. So Amazon may lock things down. If they do, you can still edit the listings and you can still update things to make things faster. It'll appear here in your inventory report section. All right, once you've done that, you need to complete the initial steps. If it's a product policy issue, you need to sanitize the listing, and that's why you've got your category listing report. What we mean by that is you open it up, you look at all of your bullets, your title, and your copy, and you basically remove any information that Amazon may find the slightest bit offensive. So anything to do with medical claims, any compatibility with, basically make it as boring and vanilla as possible so you can get your listing back up and then add the more sexy stuff afterwards. So go through, remove everything. If it's a authenticity complaint, you need to annotate. So you get your invoice that you've got from your supplier and you need to annotate it and upload it to the account health dashboard. Why we say annotate is because if someone's going to be looking at this for about 2 seconds and you want to make sure they've got an arrow pointing to the box they need to look at so that you can actually get what you want done. If not, usually it gets rejected a couple of times before you've put a big red box around where you want them to stare at an arrow and some text saying, this is what you're looking for. If it's an IP violation, you'll have received a notification from Amazon saying this person has, say you violate their IP, and it'll give you an email address. What you have to do then is you have to draft an email to that email saying, hey, we've got this notification. How can I help? What are we doing wrong? Can I help you? The good thing here is you need to take a screenshot of that email. And then every time you email this person, you get another piece of evidence to Amazon for them to remove this IP violation. Because There's some bad actors out there. They'll just say, oh, they violated my IP. And without you taking these screenshots, you can't show Amazon they're not responding to you. They raised this thing, but they're not responding back to you. So the goal is you're getting a load of evidence to raise to Amazon in case that happens. Hopefully it's not a bad actor. 4, if it's a product safety issue, you need to create a plan of action, plan of action to appeal. It's Amazon. Something I always say at Seller Candy is you can be right or you can make money. And our goal is to make money. So in your plan of action, you have to basically say, this is the issue. This is what we've done about it immediately. And this is the long-term plan for this not to happen again. And this includes if it's nothing done wrong. You just have to do it like that. The more you say, no, it's not an issue, the more Amazon will say, yes, it is an issue and you need to fix it. And we want to make money, not be right. If it's hazmat error, it means that they've highlighted something as potentially a hazardous ingredient. So either you have a safety data sheet from your manufacturer or your supplier, and you should hopefully know you got that, otherwise you're in trouble, or you need to fill in an SDS exemption sheet. So if there's nothing hazardous about your product, it's been highlighted, you just need to download the SDS exemption sheet, which is in seller support, and fill it in for your category. Should be pretty simple. So you've done all those things. You've either sanitized your listing and uploaded it again. You've done your authenticity complaint, your IP violation, product safety, your hazmat. And what if it doesn't work? So if Amazon confirms the listing is now compliant and it's still suspended, you need to do what we call a delete relist. A delete relist means to, as it says, delete it and relist it after 24 hours. And the big question we always have here is it going to hurt my listing? It's a pretty scary thing to do, to delete your listing for the first time. What we always say is that once you create your listing, Amazon has a central catalog and your listing is added to their central catalog. It means that you can't delete it. It's still actually there in the back end, linked to the unique product identifier, whether that's a UPC or a GTIN. And it means that you won't lose your reviews and it's going to be all right. We'll hold your hand if you want to, but it's going to be all right. You can delete it, you can re-upload it. If you're still having issues, this is when the real time investment comes in. And what you have to do is you have to call Amazon. You call them up and you say, hey, I created a case that we did at the start, step 1. Here's the case ID number. I uploaded updates to the listing. There's the flat file upload, the bulk upload from your category listing report. And then 3, I've already done the delete relist. And they're all the things they're going to tell you to do when you call them up. That means you've already skipped all these steps. And if you call them up, I'm sure you've had this experience before, they'll just say, oh, we created a case for you. We'll get back to you in 48 hours. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to skip all the steps, which will take them 3 lots of 48 hours to go through by doing it in, 24, hopefully. And then you can call them up and say, I'm not leaving the phone until you refresh my listing or put me through to leadership team. So you're just going to stay on the phone and stay, make a pain of yourself until it gets solved. That makes sense? Yes. Okay, cool. So there wasn't a magic pill of what we did. And our process is I can tell them exactly how to solve the issue, then they can follow my process rather than me have to go back and forth with sales support over and over again for the next decade. So here's a breakdown of the process. Download Amazon's flat file, the category listing report for your listings, make edits to make a clean version, delete it, and then call again. So in infographic form, download it, edit the flat file, delete, release, and re-upload, and then call again, chain yourself to the phone until you're solved or underground. So we are flipping the issue resolution process on its head. How about another? This is called the 3 fixes. That was the longest fixed. All right, next one. You have a bad review. What can you do? And we all know who's rejecting all your hard work and leaving bad reviews on your listings, don't we? Amongst other people, it's back to being Dr. Bezos. So here is how we go about removing bad reviews. Quick overview first, just in case you're new to this. There are 2 types of review and feedback that can be left on your listings and on your account. One is seller feedback. So this is for sellers, how they treat their customers. Has nothing to do with the products, although you'll end up with product reviews in there at some point, and that's the one on the seller profile. And then there's product reviews on your product listings. These are things for feedback of the actual product. So the process to remove seller feedback is this. Pretty simple. You log into seller support. You go to performance feedback. and you find any negative feedback and you click request removal. So on the right hand side here, you can see there, request removal. You can remove this feedback if it's related to anything that you didn't do. So if it's Amazon, you didn't do the fulfillment. If you're doing FBA, you didn't do the fulfillment. So it could be a shipment issue. It could be anything to do with a product, because technically you might not own that product. It can be a violation, or it can violate Amazon's guidelines. The reason that we're raising it here is because Amazon refuses to remove about 30% of this feedback these days. And if Amazon doesn't remove it, they'll create you a case and you need to keep that case open. So you have to transfer that case to your assistant, or if you're your own assistant, do it yourself, and keep it open until Amazon removes it. And if you close the ticket, it just takes longer to resolve. So just make sure you're doing this regularly and removing anything from your seller profile. All right. If it's a product review, here's the other process. So you can report abuse. So this is actually to go onto the page. Where's the picture? There we go. You can actually go onto the listing. You can see the review here. You can click report abuse, and then you just have to write a reason when you report this to Amazon. The challenge here is that it has to be violating Amazon's terms of service. Otherwise, it's fraud. So you need to actually make sure it is violating them. So it's, you can read through the full terms if you're unsure, but it's for a different product. It has nothing to do with the product or something similar. And Amazon will still respond to you saying that it's fine, okay, most of the time, but this is the number one way to try and get it removed. Also, you can raise a case about it. So you can go into your seller account, contact seller support, and they may or may not do it here, but you can put in all this information. So you give them the ASIN, where it is, why it violates, and basically contact them in another way. And 3, if you're a brand owner, which most of us are on this call, I would assume, then this is the best way to do it. You can go to your brand dashboard and you can actually see the order number of the person that left that review. So look at 1 to 5 stars. You can see the order number, you can contact them, and you need to send them an amazing message because you only get one time go at this. So you want to draft a message and say, hey, I saw you didn't have a great experience. Let me help you. That's basically it. And then hopefully you can get back and forth and change their experience. And that's the goal with the brand dashboard. That makes sense? Okay, cool. So we've done two already. John with an H, you've told me how to fix some of the hardest to solve issues in my account, but what if I have a technical problem during the update? I mean, who out there has tried to do a flat file before, got stuck, and given up, or hired someone to do it for them? So you have an error code on your flat file. So we're quickly going to go through how to get unstuck when you get stuck on a flat file. So you need the secret sauce, and our secret sauce is this QR code. Now, so these are all of the most common error codes. I don't know why we make them come up one by one. I'm not going to read them all out, but these are the most common error codes that we see on flat files, and I'm going to go through how to get over them. So first, you scan this QR code and you download the document. It's a SOP for how this is actually our SOP. So I took it from our system, we just PDF'd it and put it here. So you can download our SOP, you run through the steps in the SOP, and then you celebrate that you finally have got flat files to work. Simple 3-step process. Or if you want to do something a bit more advanced, you can, this is an example of the actual process. You receive this error code, you just run through the steps in the SOP, which is to check the verification wizard, review all the active marketplaces, check if the parent belongs to another seller, and then relist the ASIN. I'm not going to go through in all detail because there's no way you're going to remember this, but download it and you can use it in the future when you need it. Also, that one is repeated twice. Okay, so these are just a few things that Seller Candy can take care of on your account. We can actually do all of this stuff. If you're interested in any of the stuff we can do, you can take a screenshot of this. This is also available on our website. And if you want more, who wants more? We've put all of the stuff that we've spent the last 5 years doing, whether that's everything that we've worked on, all our strategies, how to solve things in seller support, into an ebook. This is actually a download, which is all of our hard work for the last 5 years, and you can download it at sellercandy.academy. There's actually no .com, it's just sellercandy.academy. Someone can maybe type that into the chat. And yeah, just wanted to go through those 3 most important fixes because it's the 3 most important things that we see on people's accounts that drives us and them absolutely nuts. So if there's any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. We'll give it 30 seconds for some potential questions, and then we'll have a chat. John, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I definitely have a comment. And I have questions as well. Maybe I'll hold one of the questions for the Q&A later.
Yeah.
But I think the comment that I have there is it's fascinating as a business owner, and all of us probably on this webinar are business owners, whether we have an Amazon business or technology, etc., is just getting that insight into this large organization of Amazon and how it works, right? And how siloed their divisions are, right?
Yeah.
And how they certainly, and you can speak to any Amazon employee, like they're not connected. It sounds so simple to us to be able to call up customer support and say, hey, well, you can clearly see this and fix it, but their hands are tied. They don't necessarily have the ability to, 1, fix the issue, and 2, have the insight that they need to be able to fix the issue. And a lot of it is run by technology, right? So all of the stuff that you talked about in terms of the steps that you have to go through, you literally have to go through those because the person on support cannot move any ball forward without doing those steps, right? So that they almost have as much insight into the issue as you have sometimes. So it's kind of fascinating that this company is so big, but it's so frustrating at times to get things solved. But I would say at the high end, the main part of Amazon is that they are very customer centric, and that they're incentivized by that at any single division. So if there's an annoying ticket that is open and they haven't solved it, they get dinged. So eventually someone has to fix that problem. So I think that's just the comment that I have. I'd love to discuss maybe in the Q&A we can talk a little bit more about Amazon's venture into AI on customer support and what you think that's going to do in terms of helping to improve customer support, both for services like yours and how you think you can use it for brands. But I think that'll be a great question to bring up
for that Q&A. We actually had Maria ask the question, which we can answer quite right now. It's going to be a small one. Will deleting and relisting still work with an FBA listing with inventory at FBA? If it is an FBA listing with inventory FBA, is there a different process you'd recommend? Yes, it will work. And actually, all you need to do is go into your listing beforehand and copy the FN SKU. So copy the full FN SKU of and that's the link to the inventory in the warehouse. If you delete the listing while it's there, you can still find it in the reports. You just have to go deep into the reports to get it. But then when you recreate the listing, all you have to do is copy and paste the FN SKU into the listing when you recreate it, and it will just link right back up to that inventory. So it's no problem deleting it with a bunch of inventory in FBA. It'll be fine. No worries, as they say in Australia. All right, John, I'm going to hand the host over to you. If we have any more questions at the moment. There you go.
So I want to give you a little bit of context for ZonGuru and what we're going to talk about today. We're obviously, I hope a lot of people on the call today know who ZonGuru is, but we're really an operational tool set that help brands and agencies scale on Amazon, right? So we have about 18 different tools, everything from business analytics to review automation, automations, niche analysis, etc. And we have a very strong flagship product around keyword intelligence and SEO with a lot of firsts in that space. So that is one of our lead flagship products. Everything like contextual keyword intelligence, understanding where competitors are strong or weak, we did that first. The integration of ChatGPT into listing creation, we did that first. A coin phrase, contextual SEO, we did that first. So the point there is that we have a lot of firsts in the space, including the Rufus optimization. So understanding how to optimize for Rufus, and I'm going to talk about that in today's presentation. But we have a very deep understanding of the algorithm over many years, and how to connect your listing with the algorithm to ensure that you can improve your organic rank. So that's number one. Number two is we over the last 2 years we've actually launched a services division on top of our technology. So much larger enterprise brands that want to use our technology, they typically want a services piece of that. And so we have a service division that actually help these brands grow. And so the pieces, some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about today is how we think about growing businesses on Amazon, which is at a high level, it's like, how do you use every lever that you have available on Amazon to grow your organic rank? So you have to be proficient and effective with PPC, obviously with your listing optimization, with pricing, promotions, all of those individual pieces. But how do you actually use them together in combination to, over time, improve your organic rank? And that's where we see a lot of success happening with these brands. And it's a big pain point, right? Which is, at the end of the day, my profit is going down, but how do I increase my revenue and profit? And the main way to do that is to get better organic sales, right? So that's how we focus on it. And we actually use Seller Candy as part of our services side. So, any variation structures that we're doing or changes that we're making to listings, if we run into issues with those, and we do all the time, we pull Seller Candy in and they help us solve those problems. So we definitely stand behind John and the Seller Candy team. So let's talk about a few things here. So organic rank and crushing the Q4 holidays. Let's cover a few strategies. The first I want to cover is Rufus, right? So for any of you, hopefully that know what Rufus is, because I know it is live in the US, in North America, which is essentially Amazon's shopping assistants. Now, probably a few of you on the call are already saying, I've used Rufus and it's terrible. Like, it doesn't recommend products in the right way. I would say over the last month, it's improved massively, and it's still improving. And the big point there is that it is not going away. The world has changed. How we research products on Google, on ChatGPT, consumers are doing it a different way. We see it in numbers, right? Is people are engaging with chat assistants to get their answers. So how you're going to engage on Amazon is changed forever, and it's going to move more and more towards engaging with the chat assistants and getting recommendations, responses. So, hey, I'm going camping. What are some key products that I should be getting? That's a basic example, but asking that and getting the recommendations instead of researching and searching for it is the way it's moving. So you have to, as a seller, understand that this is going to be here to stay and it's going to get better and better. And how do you make sure that you optimize for Rufus is critical. So we've done, as soon as that was on the cards, we've done a lot of testing around, what is the difference between optimizing for the algorithm and then optimizing for Rufus. And this is some of that insight that I'm going to give you right now. So, the key point here is we're not mobile first. I try to move away from mobile first SEO optimization and more towards AI first. So AI first in terms of how customers are wanting to engage with AI to find products, and AI first in terms of how do we make sure that our listing is optimized for AI. If you haven't seen it, this is just a quick example of what Rufus is. This is my mobile phone, and you can just see, I'm just kind of scrolling through it, but I can just ask a question here. I click on the bottom and I say, what are the best benefits of an Instapot? And then it comes back and it's like, the Instapot is versatile, time saving, energy efficient, convenience. It's got answers in there. I think this is quite an old one that I've done, but this is how it comes back, and it recommends like the benefits of what I'm looking for. And it can also recommend experiences, products for experiences. Then, you can come back and talk about the features, lid lock protection, what it's made out of, etc. Right? So it's going to come back and give you those recommendations, and then also give you products that you can click on to actually find those products. So that is Rufus, and it just pops up over the search experience. So you can literally engage with that whole AI assistant experience without actually seeing the PDP for a number of clicks and recommendations before you even get there, right? So search results, etc., are gone in this instance, is sitting behind the actual recommendation. So in terms of the Rufus strategy and what you should be looking for is the Rufus over your normal keyword optimization. Rufus is looking for the search intent and benefits of of what you're writing in there. So I think the best way to explain it is, for some of those longer tail experiences that your product might be suitable, Rufus is going to help surface those, even though the seller might, or the consumer might not be actually looking to buy that product yet, or it's not in their consideration set. So, when it asks a question like, hey, what are the features of an Instapot? Like, it's going to surface the main benefits, but maybe benefits you haven't thought of that you should have in your consideration sets. Or, hey, I'm going camping, what should I be looking for? What type of products it surfaces it might not be in your consideration set yet. So you have to make sure in your listing that over and above your typical optimization, that you're understanding what some of those longer tail search intent benefits are, and ensuring that you can have some of that content in your listings, so that Rufus will identify that you match that type of use case and experience. And just think about your listing as like the ultimate prompt for Rufus for anything, right? If you have the content in there, it's going to help to prompt Rufus or any AI to find that content in there. So that's part of what is going into helping it to connect your product with certain experiences, search intent benefits, right? So you have to have a better understanding of that. Now, how do you find that out? One tip that I would give is that if you prompt ChatGPT in the right way, you get very similar results to what you're seeing in Rufus. Rufus is a black box, but I think there's some very strong parallels between those, and certainly AI in general. So, you can use AI to prompt and get specific use case examples and make sure that your listing includes those. Or you can obviously rely on our tool, which has done an extensive testing around, hey, if I prompt Rufus and I say, hey, Rufus, what are the answers to these type of questions? And then making sure that when we talk about benefits, that matches your content. We've done all of that testing, and we have that included in our AI as a baseline. So, our tool will give you an AI listing, and then you can finesse that further, but it's structured in the right way that matches for the algorithm, and also for what Rufus is looking for, right? So identify the user intent, optimize your listings, pay attention to Q&A and reviews, which is an important piece of helping Rufus to identify, what is important to customers in looking for products, right? Here's an example. I just showed this one, which is one of the key criteria to consider when looking for an Instapot. We talk about capacity, cooking functions, safety features, how it's built, stainless steel, accessories, right? So this is literally what Rufus is coming back and saying, these are things you should look for. And then it recommends products that are connected with that. If you run it through our tool, this is our listing tool. We talk, this is done, it talks about the different functions, right? It talks about the capacity, right? It talks about the state-of-the-art features made out of stainless steel. It talks about the different accessories that come with it. So everything that Rufus was looking for, we covered in our bullets and our benefits. And there's a strong connection between those two. And we've seen on that side that as you optimize in this way, your exposure and visibility on Rufus increases, right? So making sure that you cover those use cases is important. Over and above the typical optimization you need to do for keywords, right? So you can see here's the top 3 competitors on Instapot, and the score on Rufus is coming out at a much higher point, right? So we know that we're giving your listing the maximum potential to get the most visibility and conversions for both AI and organic ranking, right? So definitely worth you trying. And then you can also see you can publish this directly to Amazon, which is a pretty cool feature that we have inside of our tool. This process, and I'm happy to even show you guys, it literally takes, once you've set it up and you run Rufus, it takes under 30 seconds to create a full baseline listing that's optimized for the algorithm. It typically has a better score than any competitor. And then you have the ability to get insights, to finesse, to improve, so that you have the best listing on page 1. The second one I want to talk about is, are you priced for TAM and for the algorithm? So this is an interesting way of looking at your pricing, right? And what I mean by TAM is total applicable market, which is basically, in a nutshell, are you priced at the right price point where most customers are buying your product? So I'm not talking about profit. I'm not talking about anything else. I'm talking about, hey, if I'm selling an Instapot and I sell it for $30, are most customers buying at $30, or they're mostly buying at $50 or at $15, right? And that's really important for you to understand. So that's number 1. And number 2, are you priced, correctly for the algorithm? And what I mean by that is, are you actually more competitive at a certain price point than most of your competitors. And what I mean by that is, what is your reviews, your ratings, what's the health of your listing versus your competition? Because if you're priced at a certain point, Amazon's going to surface your product more at your price point than other products because they believe you have a better quality product and experience than other competitors. So understanding how you stack up against your competition at a certain price point is important. So I'll show you what that looks like. This is a report that we pull. I've removed obviously the product, but you can see in this case this product is priced at $22.52. It has 18,000 reviews, so an enormous amount of reviews and an amazing rating of 4.6. Right, so it's a massively strong product. Now, what we do in this bottom section here is we break out, the top 50 competitors, and we put them into buckets: budget price, mid-tier, and premium, right? And so you can see here's all the min-max prices, and we see across each of these price brackets, right, what is the actual amount of customers buying at that price point, right? So what's interesting here is this person and what price, what customers are buying at, and then what is the average rating and reviews. So you can see at this price point for this customer, they have the highest rating versus their competitors as high, right? And they have much higher average reviews than your customers, right? So they're going to win on the algorithm at this price point for sure. But what's interesting is there's only a $59,000 TAM at this price point, and most customers are buying at the price point of between $15 and $19. 502,000 there, 653. The ratings are 4.6, and average reviews are high, but they still win here. So they could easily compete at this price point of 653,000, right, and win there. Now, that's obviously less profits, but will they be getting much more organic sales and therefore, make a lot more on the high end? That's obviously to test and to see. We do see the reverse a lot, where customers are selling at a cheaper price point, and in fact, there's a more expensive price point that they can compete at with a similar TAM, and they should actually charge, move up in price, and they can still keep their conversion rate there, beat their competition, and win. So this is a really interesting exercise to go through, outside of profits and what you're charging on your product. Actually understand, like, how are you well matched for the algorithm, and how are you well matched for where customers are actually buying. So this is an important type of exercise to do. The next one I want to say here is not every Amazon sale is a good sale, right? And so what I mean by that is, if you're making a sale on PPC, right? It's first off, it's going to be more of your expensive sale. Your profit's going to be eaten, right? Because there's a cost to that sale. It's certainly not as good as an organic sale, but it could also hurt your organic rank. And so you have to consider, what is my PPC actually converting at, and is it actually stronger than my organic and category conversion rate? So understanding what your organic and your category conversion rate is critical. And then at a high level, are my PPC campaigns performing at a better conversion rate than my organic? Because then every sale that comes from your PPC is actually going to spike the organic algorithm because you had a better conversion rate. And so I'm sure everyone here knows it, but rightly or wrongly, or whether Amazon did it by chance or on purpose, your PPC conversion rate is tied to how your organic ranking sits. So if you have a bad conversion rate in your PPC, it's going to ding your organic rank over time, right? So you've got to make sure that that's above it. This is another example, and you can see this is how we track across our campaigns at a high level: ad conversion rate, your total conversion rates, and ACOS, etc. This is just a screenshot of a part of a report, but you can see. I mean, what's interesting about this brand, it's a massive brand, but it has an insane overall conversion rate. But still, their ad conversion rate is lower, right? So understanding that every single sale from that comes in is gonna ding your overall organic rank algorithm is important to know, right? So ones like this, 5.6% at a versus a 34% is something that has to be addressed, right, and get closer to that. So these are, when you're looking at your PPC, make sure that you understand how is your overall ad conversion rate by ASIN converting at versus your total, and understanding where you can make improvements there is important. And the last one I want to make here, if I have the time, is how is AI reading your images? And I think this is important for everyone here to know. Like, gone are the days of just like, hey, should we optimize the HTML tag on my images for the algorithm, right? Like there's literally AI in there that has the ability to read the content in your images. Like, so what is it actually saying in the images? What is the actual visual image in there? And that's feeding into the algorithm. The images 1 through 7, we typically use that as a narrative for customer conversion, right? What are they reading? They shop with their eyes. They're looking at the images. That's really critical, but it's so, and so that's why in images 2 through 7, we typically have, a visual, and we have, actual text in that image that speaks to the benefits, the reasons why, how to use it, social validation, whatever those things are. And that helps with the customer conversion, but that is also now feeding into the algorithm and helping you rank. So it is more and more important to make sure that you including the right type of content in your images, right? So we do a lot of analysis on this. It's an internal tool right now, but it's going to be a production tool soon. But we do a listing analysis, which covers many different pieces of it, including image analysis. And what we're looking at is across the whole category for your specific niche. What is being included by competitors in images 2 through 7 plus A+ content? What are the common themes? What align that with what the algorithm and Rufus is looking for? What are the right kind of benefits that you should be calling out, and then surfacing that to you at a creative level so that you can include that in your images 2 through 7. So when we're doing creative content for brands, we run this analysis so that we're getting the right input into our creative team at a strategic level, so they can make sure that they include in this content in the narrative of images 2 through 7 A+ content to help match with what the algorithm is looking for, but also, obviously what customers are looking for conversion, right? So I think the point to see there is like, if you're looking at your images and you don't have, you have bare minimal content in your images, text content, your images are grainy, your text is grainy, it's not going to be read in the right way. And you need to relook that and improve that, and that's going to help you with overall conversion and obviously connecting with the algorithm. So it's an important point to make. The kind of feedback that we get, this is feedback from agencies, from brands, but on average a 23% lift on existing sales, on existing listings, and then 37% improvement over bestseller listings. So we track this over all of our listings, but these are some stats that we're really proud of. I think we're coming back to offers at the end, but I do have, after Q&A, I do have the opportunity to get a full organic growth audit. So some of the stuff that I covered today will come back to you in a report like this. It will show you, hey, how are you ranking for your keywords? What's the potential of some of your keywords that are sitting outside of the buyer zone? How to move them into the buyer zone? What's the kind of revenue number that you will actually get by moving them into the buyer zone? And we do a pricing analysis like I showed you. So there is an opportunity to get 10 of these reports if you qualify. We'll send out a link and you can just sign up, and then we'll connect with you and kind of validate you as a prospect for that, and then run that as a free audit for you. And then we have some other links if you want to just try technology, and we can come back to that a little bit later.
I think you should share them now, John.
Okay, cool.
A number of people will be here now.
Yeah, no problem. So we are specifically to this audit, we'll give away 10 of these. And if you want to go to the growth audits, go to zonguru.link/SC-growth audit. So SC for Seller Candies is zonguru.link SC growth audit. There's a little form there. Just fill that out. It'll ding our team or ping our team, and then we'll connect with you and then run that growth audit. And again, that will help you to understand like what is the true organic potential of one of your brands. And also, your pricing analysis, how you should be priced to maximize your Q4 sales. And then we discuss how we can actually grow your brand, and help you grow over the next while. So that's one. If you're a brand, you can also, if you just want to sign up with our technology, go to zonguru.link/SC-20. And you can go and literally sign up. There's also a 7-day free trial on that. You can literally go and run our listing optimization tool. It is the best in the space, and it is Rufus optimized. And to at least compare your current listing to what a new AI listing as a baseline should be, and then making your updates and even comparing that to your main competitors, you can literally do in a couple of minutes. And if you're an agency, go to zonguru.link/SC-enterprise, and there's a form there to fill out, and you can connect with me there. That's it. Thank you.
Love it. Thanks, John. I also typed out the links in the chat, so if anyone wants to copy and paste them, you can copy and paste them from there. Thanks so much for doing that, John.
Yeah.
Love it. So we have actually had a few Q&A questions come in all from Laura. Thanks, Laura. During the talk. So let's start with that one. We're looking for someone to help with ads. Is that something you can do?
Yes, I think to us and our team, yes. So we can definitely help with ads. And again, the challenge we see with bigger brands and growth on Amazon is that if you just have a team just doing your ads and looking at metrics on your ads without thinking about the impact that that's having on your organic rank, they're not going to be as successful. So, the way that we look at that is it's a lever that we have to be proficient with, but how do we use that in the best way to get your organic rank for your product up over time? And that's a big difference that we can do with your business. So yeah, if you want to reach out to us, you can fill out that form on the Growth Audit, and we'll connect and we can talk about that and the other pieces. But I would say, yeah, we could do ads, but with some brands, we do the ads piece and then consult with them on the SEO. And typically the reverse, we will do a lot of the SEO and other pieces and consult with them on the PPC, or we can do it together, right? So there's many ways to look at it.
Love it. Good question there. So if somebody wants to contact you about that, is that also on the ZonGuru link, or is that on a different site?
Go to the Growth Audit and fill that out. And I think that'll be a great place to start and talk to us. Yeah.
We also have Gabrielle. Can you change a listing that has been flagged as not able to advertise? For example, fat burner, weight loss supplements. It's a good question. Actually, a very good question. The answer is sometimes, to be honest. That's actually something that you should probably reach out to Kelly on our team, who's an expert in that stuff about. It really depends on the actual listing, what Amazon said, and whether we can remove certain wording from it and what it's been banned from in the past. So yeah, if you want, I'm just going to put an email in this in the chat. If you want to reach out to Kelly on our team, just explain the issue, and he can get back to you about it.
Yeah, and I think we see that a lot on the adults category as well. Obviously, sponsored brand ads is something you can run regardless, right? So it's something that can help you get some exposure.
Yeah, especially when it comes to adult extra exposure. We have another question from Laura at the top, actually. If we get ZonGuru services, is Seller Candy included? I think you mentioned that in passing, or is it paid separately?
It's paid separately. So obviously within our platform, Seller Candy is a partner service that we recommend, and you'll see a link inside of our platform that is only available to customers, and there's a discount that's applied to that. So just click through that, and you can get to Seller Candy and connect there. And I know it's the same if you go through Seller Candy. John has an exclusive offer that he can offer you outside of what we have.
Awesome. Yeah. If you're already a Seller Candy member and you're attending here, then just go into our portal. There's actually a pop-up in the bottom right, comes up, and you can get a different type of growth audit that's in partnership between ZonGuru and Seller Candy. Can you remove a seller review after the elapsed time period? Yes, you can. So you've got pretty much unlimited time to remove the reviews as long as they are not, as long as they are in violation with Amazon's terms. The problem is that, yeah, if it's actually a product review on the product listing, success rate is low. I know you may have seen some of the services popping up all over the industry removing negative reviews. I've seen a couple of them. Actually diving deeper into those, because we were like, well, we can do that. We could launch that if we wanted to. They only take on clients if you've got a huge number of negative reviews that they can tackle, because the success rate is low. You need a large volume to go after to get a relatively small amount of actual reviews removed. So yeah, Paul, about your subs, you know me anyway. You can reach out to me either through Messenger or to Kelly. Okay, Chris Bart. Does it work only in English or other languages as well, e.g. German, French, and so on? Is
listing optimization? Yes. It's market and language specific. So, if the thing that's really good about ZonGuru, there's a lot of things, but one
say so yourself.
one important piece is our keyword intelligence, right? Which is it does the best job in the space of getting at the localized current keywords for a specific marketplace. So if you run it in Germany, you're getting a lot of more of those colloquial localized words that people might choose to search for your product, and then using that as your basic prompt, and then obviously creating your listing from there is makes a big difference, right? So you can do it in Germany. You'll get German keywords specific to that market, and then it's going to use the AI ChatGPT level of translation based on the keywords that you have as well. But certainly, it's always important to have an expert language professional look at your listing as well on top of that, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm a really big fan of your listing optimizer tool, and just the way it can pull the keywords and shove them in, and you just get to see if it's better. I mean, there's literally no reason not to sign up and test it, because the amount of additional revenue it would be if you increase your conversion rate by, or increase the number of keywords you're ranking for. I know that's a big metric on the tool. It's just, it's a no-brainer. The investment is so low to test it out and see if it's improving the rank. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is it doesn't improve the rank.
Yeah, and to your point that you can delete and relist these things, you can make those updates and see if it makes a difference. I think it's very hard to say, hey, I'm just going to optimize my listing for these keywords, but actually to do it in the right way and place it in broad match, so you don't overstuff your listing. All of those things. Optimize for Rufus, it literally does that in 30 seconds. It's a no-brainer to do that, and then you can finesse it further how you want. You can choose the tone, you can choose language, etc. And I think we've built it in a way that scratches that itch that sellers always want to answer, which is like, do I have the best optimized listing on page one versus my competitors? And so that's what you can tell inside of our tool, right? You have the best listing for your potential. Yeah,
love it. Well, it just makes things so much easier. We have a question from Chris again. What's the difference between ZonGuru and Data Dive and Jungle Scout optimizations?
Yeah, there are some differences. I think a lot of what we have in our tool, there's some similar DNA in certainly Data Dive. I think in some ways, I think Brandon Young's always been a supporter of our tool. We've been around for quite some time. I would say, obviously, the Rufus optimization is a critical piece, and I would say what it is optimizing for is critical. And I think hands down, everyone who knows our tool know that we get at keywords in a different way than rather than just like reverse ASIN matching, and therefore the relevancy of our terms gives you an advantage, right? So if you compare our lists versus the Helium 10, Jungle Scout, etc., you're going to see differences and opportunities. So I think that, and just the ability for context and what kind of questions and answers, we believe we do the best in the space. So and obviously the results behind it, 23% increase in sales on existing listings is a pretty amazing stat. Yeah.
No, I'd agree. I mean, I think ZonGuru is in the middle, in the middle in terms of they're actually your main purpose of your tool is to do this, which is not Jungle Scout, and it's much more accessible than Data Dive. Data Dive is great for certain things, but maybe product research part in certain things deep in a niche. But I really love that ZonGuru is kind of a do-it-all solution that actually covers what I would want it to cover.
Yeah, and I think those inherent user experiences we've done first, right? Which is like contextual SEO, looking at competitors, how do you rank, answering the right question for sellers. You'll see that in our tool, right? And the AI optimization.
Love it.
And those tools also work well, right? It's just you've got to get in and test them and see what flow you like. Yeah.
Agreed. We can't badmouth everyone's tools. They're actually all good tools. All right. So I think that might be all the questions. So if you've enjoyed this webinar, please, when you get the recording, feel free to share it with someone. We'll be sending out the recording. Share it with a friend, and if they are interested, they can also sign up for the ZonGuru audit if there are any left by the time the recording goes out.
Yes, good luck out there for Q4. I think the the high level business advice is, make sure that you have a great product, you have your stock, and that you've fully optimized so that you're giving your listings the best shot, right? And that's content, listings, and if the panic station hits and you get inactive, you know who to reach out to and get you live. That is a very specific skill, and you need to do it fast and quick, and having Seller Candy behind you would be important. So go for it.
Thanks for being there, John. And
right.
We'll see you very, very soon. To everyone.
Okay. Cheers, guys. Good luck. Cheers. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.